It's that time of year again, guys. Let's head off to Camp Crystal Lake. So hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm Claire from Claire's Creative Corner, and for this video I'm going to be talking you through my October TBR, mainly my TBR for the Camp Crystal Lake Readathon, which was created by Barb from Barb's Bookland. I'm really excited to be taking part in this readathon. I did it last year, it was the first time it ran last year, and I had such a great time doing it. So I've been in the mood for spooky, like autumn, Halloweeny books for the whole month, to be honest. September has pretty much been a slump month for me. I've been ill pretty much with a cold most of the month, so I'm on the mend basically. But yeah, so what I'm going to be talking you through is all the books that I'm planning on getting to throughout the readathon. There are a couple of different teams, and I will be on Team Jigsaw, which is our counsellor is the lovely Demi from Reading with Demi, so I've joined her team. But my plan for the readathon is I have picked out books for each of the prompts for the other teams. I'm not pressuring myself to get to all of them, but I'm going to give it a really good go because I've just been so excited for this readathon. So without further ado, I'm just going to get into my team prompts for Team Jigsaw, and then I'll get into the other teams and their prompts and the books that I've picked out for those prompts as well. So it'll be a long video, hopefully not too long. I won't give you a full synopsis for all the books, I'm just going to give you a quick synopsis, so we'll try and get through this as quick as I can. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get into my October TBR. Okay guys, so I have my laptop right here beside me, so if I happen to glance over at my laptop, it'll just be for checking what the prompts are and what the books I've picked out. But without further ado, I'm going to be kicking off with our team book. Each of the teams has a team book, and I'm really excited that this is our team book for Team Jigsaw. As I mentioned, Demi from Reading with Demi is our camp counsellor, and I'm really excited to be part of Demi's team. Demi, I've been getting to know her over the past few months, and she's just the loveliest human being, so I'm really excited to be part of her team. And this is her first year being a camp counsellor for Camp Crystal Lake, so I'm really chuffed for her that she's going to be co-hosting this readathon with Barb. So yeah, so without further ado, our team book for Team Jigsaw is How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. This will be a reread for me. This has been my favourite book of the year, one of my favourite books of the year so far. It's Grady Hendrix's most recent release. It is a haunted house. We have a brother and sister, Louise and Mark. They're going back to their childhood home to sell their house after their parents have passed away, and the mum had an obsession with puppets and dolls, so there are creepy dolls and puppets in this house, and the house doesn't want to be sold, and there's a lot of haunting with the puppets, and it's really creepy, and it's such a good time. I absolutely love this book, so I'm really excited to be rereading this. I'm going to try and get the audiobook for it and do it via the audiobook as well, because I've never listened to a Grady Hendrix audiobook before. So yeah, I'm really excited. So this will be our team book for Team Jigsaw. Okay guys, so for prompt number 1 for Team Jigsaw, obviously Team Jigsaw is based off of the Saw movies. So for prompt number 1, which is Saw 1, we have to read a book that has 2 or more people on the cover. And for prompt number 1, I'm going to be picking up A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. This is a reread for me. I didn't manage to get to it in September, so I'm going to be reading it in October, and I'm really excited for it. This is definitely my second favourite in the Court of Thorns and Roses series, and we follow Nesta and Cassian, 2 people on the cover. And so we follow Nesta, who's the sister of Feyre, and Nesta isn't a lovable character in the first 3 books, but this is her story and we follow her. She has a lot of trauma, PTSD from the events of A Court of Wings and Ruin, and Feyre, her sister, has telling her to get her life back on track, so she makes her go and train with Cassian, and there is a very enemies to lovers romance between them. They don't get on at all, and it's very steamy. This is definitely the steamiest book in the whole series, but it's just so good. The mental health rep in here is done so well, and yeah, I thought this would be the perfect fit for the first prompt for Team Jigsaw. It is a chunky book, but I feel because it is a reread, I should be able to get through it quite quickly. So yeah, A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas, I'm going to be reading for prompt number 1. Prompt number 2, which is Saw 2, is to read a book that is a thrillery book. And for this prompt, I've decided to pick up a brand new release from a thriller author that I've read from recently, Abby Davis. I read Ariete, and I was absolutely obsessed with it. I absolutely loved it, and I'm really excited for Abby Davis's brand new release. I'll put a picture up on screen. It is Her Number One Fan by Abby Davis, which comes out on the 28th of September by the time this goes up, so hopefully it should be out by the time this goes up. I'm really, really excited. I don't want to know too much about it, but from what I've heard, I think it's about a fan stalking someone, I think. Also, I don't want to know too much about it, but yeah, I'm really, really excited for Her Number One Fan, and I really, really hope Abby Davis will be a brand new thriller author that I absolutely love, and I'm definitely going to read all of her backlist because I just adored Ariete so much. So yeah, Her Number One Fan I'll be reading for prompt number 2. Prompt number 3, which is Saw 3 and Saw 4, is to read a book that has multiple POVs. And for this one, I've decided to go for another reread, which I'm really excited about, and that is Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This is an adult dark romance retelling of Peter Pan, and it features James, who is Hook, and we have Wendy, and we have both POVs from James and Wendy. This is a very, very dark adult romance. He wants revenge, but he wants her more. So I really enjoyed it the first time round when I read this. I gave it 5 stars. I read it once and it was so good, and I definitely want to continue on with Emily McIntyre's Never After series. I've got the whole series there, so if I finish off Hooked, I definitely want to continue on with the rest of the books. But yeah, I'm really, really excited, and Emily McIntyre's book covers are just absolutely stunning. So yeah, Hooked by Emily McIntyre I'll be reading for prompt number 3. Prompt number 4, which is Saw 5, is to read a book that features a game, and for this one I've picked another reread, but this one is actually the Middle Grade Magic Book Club pick for October, and that is Hide and Seeker by Daka Harmon. Apologies if I said that wrong. This is a middle grade horror which I've read before. I read it last year and I really enjoyed it. This obviously is a game of hide and seek that goes very badly wrong. We have a boy who goes missing at the start of the book, and he comes back a year later and he's not the same when he comes back. And there's at the welcome home party, his mum's throwing the kids play a game of hide and seek, and one by one the kids start to go missing, and it's a mystery to what is going on, and it's a really, really good middle grade horror. So I'm really excited to be rereading this one for Camp Crystal Lake and for Middle Grade Magic, which is my middle grade book club, and I'll leave the information in the box down below if you're interested in taking part. Prompt number 5, which is Saw 6, is to read a book that has blood or red on the cover, and for this one I've double checked with Demi to see if this will work, and she said that this book will definitely work. So I've decided to pick up A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. This is the gorgeous Fairy Loot edition, and it has blood in the title, it's got blood on the cover, and it's mainly red as well, so I think this is a perfect fit. I don't want to know too much about this, but I'm pretty sure it follows the wife of Dracula, so there's vampires in here, and it's told mainly in letters. Now, I'm not a huge fan of books that have it's mainly told through letters, but I have heard some good things about this, and I think there is triggers for domestic abuse in here, so I would definitely check out the trigger warnings for that. But yeah, Dowry of Blood I'll be reading for prompt number 5, and I'm really excited. I'm definitely in obviously a vampire mood, and I just love these frayed edges. They're absolutely stunning. So yeah, Dowry of Blood I'll be picking up for that prompt. Okay guys, and the last prompt number 6, which is Saw 3D, is to read a book that you didn't add to your TBR. So this can be a gifted book you're borrowing from the library, it can be a Kindle Unlimited book, that kind of thing. So I've decided to go for a book that I was gifted for my birthday from the lovely Jem. So I want to say thank you to Jem for gifting me this, and I'm really excited to get to this one. But the book is God Killer by Hannah Kaner. Is this cover not just the most autumn looking cover that you've ever seen? It's absolutely stunning. So yeah, Jem gifted this to me for my birthday, so I'm really excited. I don't want to know too much about this, but I know that there is gods in here. You are not welcome here, God Killer. So I think the main character is able to kill gods, and there something happens where there's a particular god that she can't kill, so that'll be interesting to read. And I've heard some really good things about this, and it's quite short, so I think I hopefully should get through it quite quickly. But yeah, God Killer I'll be reading for my last team prompt for Team Jigsaw, and I'm really excited for all the books on my main TBR. Okay guys, so I'll move on to the next team, which is Team Crystal Lake, and the camp counsellor for that team is Barb from Barb's Bookland, who's created the Readathon, and I absolutely adore Barb. She's the loveliest human being, and I'm really proud to call her a BookTube bestie. So yeah, I'm really excited to be taking part in her Readathon. So these are the prompts for a Team Crystal Lake. So starting off with prompt number 1 is to start a new series, and as far as I'm aware, this is the first book, and as far as I'm aware, it's definitely going to be a series, and I've been really excited to get to this one for such a long time, and the edition that I've got is absolutely stunning, and it is A Song of Silver Flame Like Night by Amelia Wen Zhao. This is a stunning Illumicrate edition. Like, how stunning is that cover with the silver foil and these edges? Oh my god, like how stunning. I mean, it definitely looks a lot more wintry than autumn, but I've just been so excited to get to this, and I've been needing a reason to get to it. But as far as I'm aware, this is the first book in a brand new series. In a fallen kingdom, one girl carries the key to discovering the secrets of her nation's past and unleashing all the demons that sleep at its heart. So this is an epic new fantasy duology inspired by Chinese mythology. So yeah, I'm really excited to be getting to this book finally, and this edition is just absolutely stunning. So this will be the first books that I'm reading for a team prompt number 1. Prompt number 2, which is to read a backlist book. This book has been sitting on my shelves for way too long, and I've been meaning to try this for a while. It's a sci-fi, which I don't normally read sci-fi, but I'm hoping this could be the book that helps me get into sci-fi. I've only ever read The Martian by Andy Weir, well, both of Andy Weir's books that I've read so far. So but the book in question, it's at the start of another series actually, and it is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This book is mainly told in mixed media, so hopefully it should be quite a quick read, but I don't want to know too much going into this, but I know it's very popular. I know Steph from Steph Love, she really enjoyed the series. So yeah, Illuminate I'm going to be reading for the backlist book prompt. Okay guys, so prompt number 3, which is a friend pick. I asked the lovely Rebecca, who is one of the other camp counsellors, so I'll get to her team's prompts later on in the video, but she picked this for me, which is a thriller, and I'm really excited about it. It is The Sentence by Christina Dolcher, I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry, I've got the synopsis on my laptop because I don't own a physical copy, so I'll put a picture up on the screen. So yeah, The Sentence is about a law intended to end capital punishment. Prosecutors who seek the death penalty put their past lives on the line if the guilty are later found innocent. A lawyer convinced by reasonable doubt. Justine Butcher is presented with an overwhelming evidence in a brutal murder case. Her request for execution is granted, but what if she is wrong? So that sounds really good, and I'm definitely excited to give this thriller a go. I've never read from this author before, so I want to say thank you to Rebecca for picking this out for me, and I'm really excited to give it a try. Prompt number 4 is to read a counsellor's favourite book. So Barb asked the other counsellors to pick out 3 of their favourite books, and I've decided to go for one of Barb's picks, and that book is The Last Passenger by Will Dean. This is another thriller. It's about a woman who goes on a cruise ship, I think, with her husband, and the next morning she wakes up and her husband or her fiance is missing, and she's the only one left on the cruise ship. There's nobody else on the cruise ship. She doesn't know what's happened, and I think it's just going to be a really tense thriller, and I've heard really good things from Barb. I know Barb has read it and she really enjoyed it. So The Last Passenger I'll be reading for that prompt. Prompt number 5 is to read a book that has a summer camp involved, and for this book, for this prompt, sorry, I'm going to be picking up Welcome to Camp Killer by Cynthia Murphy. This has obviously, it deals with a summer camp, and I'm assuming there's going to be murder in it. And I think I've read something similar to this. It was You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Caleb Bayron a couple months ago, and I really enjoyed this. So I'm going to be reading this. I've got a copy, an arc of it on NetGalley that I haven't managed to get to, so hopefully I enjoy it and I'll be able to get another book off my NetGalley. So welcome to Camp Killer. I'll be reading for that prompt. Okay guys, and the last prompt for Team Crystal Lake is Trick or Treat, and I did a spinner wheel and I put down to get a treat, a trick or treat, and I got a treat for from the spinner wheel, and I ended up putting up 4 different books on Instagram as a poll, and the winner of the poll was The Last Bright Thing by J.R. Dawson. It definitely gives me Night Circus vibes, so I'm assuming there is a circus involved. I'm pretty sure it's a historical fantasy. Yeah, so it follows a travelling circus, and I'm pretty sure there's magic involved, and it just looks really good, and I really enjoyed the Night Circus, so I'm really hoping that I enjoy it. If you knew how dark tomorrow would be, what would you do with today? So yeah, I'm really excited, and this cover is just absolutely stunning. So that will be the last book that I'm reading for Team Crystal Lake. Actually, I'm going to mention the Team Buddy read for Team Crystal Lake as well, which is Carrie by Stephen King as well. I don't think I'm going to manage to get to it, but if anybody is on that team, that is the Team Buddy read for Barb's team. So I know she is a massive Stephen King fan, so it was obviously quite fitting for Barb's team that it would be a Stephen King book. So I don't think I'll manage to get to it, but I'm going to give it a try. I've never really read Stephen King before, so yeah, I'm really excited. So okay guys, so I'm going to move on to the next camp team, which is Team Haddonfield, and the current counsellor for Team Haddonfield is Andrew from Andrew Wizardly Read. It is the first time Andrew's co-hosting Readathon with Barb, so that's nice to have somebody new joining the Readathon, so I'm really excited, and I'll be going through the team prompts for Team Haddonfield. So prompt number 1 is a scary book that you have always wanted to read, and I hate clowns. Maybe some of you don't know this, but I hate clowns. Anything to do with clowns, I can't watch it. I've never read it by Stephen King, and I don't want to. But this book, I've seen around for a long time, and I've heard really good things about it. And the book in question is Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Caesar. There is definitely going to be a clown in it. It definitely gives me Stranger Things vibes with the cover, like 80s, 90s vibes. I'm pretty sure it's a YA horror slasher. But I have heard really good things, but I am absolutely terrified to go into this because I hate clowns. I really don't like clowns, so, but I'm going to be a big girl and I'm going to read it, and I have heard some good things. So Clown in a Cornfield, I'll be reading for the first prompt for Team Haddonfield. Okay guys, so for prompt number 2 is to read a book which is a recent release, and for this prompt I've been meaning to get to this for ages since I got this copy of this book, and the book in question is The Foxglove King by Hannah Whitten. This is her newest release, which came out early this year, I think. I've got the synopsis. I do have the book, but I'm not able to get to it currently, so I'll just put a picture up on the screen. But I'm just obsessed with this cover. It's absolutely stunning. And the book is Hannah Whitten wrote For the Wolf, which I read a couple of years ago and I really enjoyed it, so I'm excited to give this one a try. In this romantic new fantasy series from author Hannah Whitten, a young woman's secret power to raise the dead plunges her into the dangerous and glamorous world of the sainted king's royal court. So yeah, I think it's fantasy romance, very atmospheric, and yeah, I'm really excited to give this a try. And I really liked For the Wolf by Hannah Whitten. I actually need to continue on with the second book in that series, but yeah, I'm really excited for the Foxglove King, and I'll be reading that for prompt number 2. Okay guys, so for prompt number 3, which is to read an indie book. I know Andrew, on Andrew's channel, he recommends quite a lot of indie books, which is great, obviously, for the indie book community, which is really nice to see. But for this prompt, I'm definitely, I mean, I'm not embarrassed about picking this book up. I mean, I've read it before. I read it like a couple of years ago, and I think I only gave it 3 stars, but I don't own a lot of indie books, so I'm going to count this. I've got an indie edition. So the book in question is Desperate Measures by Katie Robert. This is the first book in the Wicked Villains series, which is basically smutty romance, steamy romance with Disney villains and Disney heroes in the book. So in the first book we follow Jasmine and Jafar. Yeah, I only gave it 3 stars when I read it, but I have the whole rest of the series and I do want to continue on with it. It's just a bit of fun. I mean, they're not the best things I've ever written, but I do like the covers though. The covers are pretty nice. But yeah, Jasmine and Jafar, I'm just like, no, it definitely gives me the ick. But I'm going to read it. I'm going to hopefully complete a prompt with it. But yeah, Desperate Measures by Katie Robert, I am looking forward to in a sense. But yeah, I'm going to be reading this one for the indie book prompt. For prompt number 4, which is to read a book with a cover that you love. I got this book fairly recently and I'm just obsessed with this cover. I've read from this author before and I really enjoyed her book when I read it. But the book in question is Upon a Frosted Star by Maria M. Kuznier. I think that's how you say it. But look how stunning is this cover. I just love the gold foiling and the green and the swan, and I got the Waterstones edition with these stunning straight edges. Like, how stunning is that? I don't want to know too much about this, but I've read a little bit of the blurb and it is a Great Gatsby and Swan Lake retelling. Now, Emmy Kuznier, oh, it's got really pretty end papers as well. Stunning. So Maria Emmy Kuznier wrote Midnight in Everwood, which was a Nutcracker retelling, which I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed that when I read it, so I'm really excited to give this one a try. I don't know if all her books are actually like retellings of like ballets, but that's kind of what I engage from that. But yeah, it's a Great Gatsby, so a bewitching new story inspired by The Great Gatsby and Swan Lake from the best-selling author of Midnight in Everwood. The invitations always arrive in the same way, without warning, appearing around the city on the first snowfall of the year, simply inscribed with tonight. When struggling artist Forster finds an invitation, he's bewitched by the magic of the evening, swept up in the glamour of this notorious annual party, and intrigued as to who is behind them. Determined to find out more about the mysterious host, Forster discovers an abandoned manor, silent with secrets, and a cursed woman who is desperate to be free. So it just sounds so good. It definitely gives me Swan Lake, like Great Gatsby vibes. I don't know if it's set like during the 1920s, like that kind of vibe, but yeah, I'm really excited to give this a try, and I'll be reading this for prompt number 4. For prompt number 5 is to read a sequel that you have been putting off, and I'm just going to carry on with the next book in the Wicked Villains series by Katie Robert, which is Learn My Lesson by Katie Robert. This one follows Hades, Megara and Hercules. And I think you could probably tell whether this is going to go. It's very smutty. I have read this one before, but it's been a little while since I've read this sequel. So I definitely want to read this one because I've only read the first 2 books in the Wicked Villains series, so I definitely want to carry on with it. But yeah, well, Hercules is definitely one of my favourite Disney films, so I don't know how I feel about those 3 in a very steamy romance, but it is what it is. So yeah, Learn My Lesson I'll be reading for prompt number 5. Okay guys, and the last prompt for Team Haddonfield is to read a book with a mostly black cover, and for this one I decided to go for Cruel Illusions by Margie Fuston. The cover is mostly black. There is red on the cover, but the cover is mostly black. A deadly competition, a magical secret society, a chance for revenge. I've got the stunning Fairy Loot edition with the sprayed edges, which is really nice. This has vampires in it, so another vampire book, so I'm excited to give this one a try. The main character's mother was murdered by a vampire. Caraval meets Buffy the Vampire Slayer in this dark young adult fantasy from the author of Vampires, Hearts and Other Dead Things. So yeah, the main character's mother's been killed by a vampire, and But 10 years later, having survived foster home after foster home and without a single sighting of a vampire, Ava has begun to lose hope. Yeah, so that magic, vampires, and yeah, I'm really excited to give this a try, and this edition is just absolutely stunning. I love the red foil. So yeah, this will be the last book I read for Team Haddonfield. The team book for Team Haddonfield is Something Wicked This Way Comes. If anybody wants to read that, I don't think I'll manage to get to it, but if anybody does want to read it, that's the team book for Team Haddonfield. Okay guys, so the next team camp is Team Woosborough, and the camp counselor for Team Woosborough is Crystal from Born Book Reviews. Yeah, Crystal, she just seems like the loveliest human being, and I'm really happy that she's come back to co-host with Barb again. So without further ado, I'll just get straight on to the Team Woosborough prompts. So prompt number 1 for Team Woosborough is to read a YA thriller or a retelling. And I have decided to go for The Island by C.L. Taylor. This is a YA thriller. 7 days, 6 teenagers, 1 deadly secret. Who will escape the island? So yeah, welcome to the island where your worst fears are about to come true. So I'm assuming it's 6 teenagers that are stranded on this island, and there's a lot of secrets involved. Yeah, 7 days in paradise, a deadly secret. Who will make it off the island alive? So yeah, definitely sounds really good. I've never read C.L. Taylor before, so I'm really excited to give this one a try. I was reading this on my Kindle, by the way. Okay, prompt number 2 is to read a book with a badass female character, and I've had this book sitting on my shelves for way too long, and I really hope that I love it. But the book in question is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I'm told the main character Bree is a very bad ass character. Yet her mother dies in an accident. 16-year-old Bryce Matthews wants to escape. A residential program for bright high schoolers seems like the perfect opportunity. So it's a secret society that's based on the legend of King Arthur. So our Arthurian retelling. So I'm really excited to give this a try, and I know it's a duology, I think. Bloodmarked, sorry. The sequel came out recently. Yep, the first book in a heart-pounding YA fantasy series from debut author Tracy Deonn. So yeah, I'm really excited to give this a try. I just love this cover as well. It looks absolutely stunning, and it's nice to see some diversity in book characters as well. So yeah, Legendborn I'll be reading for prompt number 2. Okay, so prompt number 3 is to read a book which continues the series, and for this one I decided to go for the next book in the Never After series by Emily McIntyre, which is Scarred. I love this cover, it's absolutely stunning. So this is a loosely based Lion King retelling, which, yeah, if you know the Lion King, yeah. So yeah, once upon a time there was a king who passed. He left behind 2 sons, one beloved and one outcast. The older of the 2 was set to take the throne, but before he could, he had to find a queen to call his own. The younger one was known to be unruly and unhinged. The chosen queen was warned to keep far away from him. Beautiful and cunning in the light was where she stayed, but late at night it was the shadowed lands in which she played. Mistakes were made and secrets forged, forgetting duty and her sense, and while the new king had her hand, her heart belonged to the scarred prince. So yeah, it does sound really good. So I've never really read a Lion King retelling before, so yeah, I think it should be a good time. Okay guys, so prompt number 4 is to read a cover by, and for this one I'm really excited. It comes out this month, which is Throne of the Fallen by Kerry Maniscalco. I'll put a picture up on screen. This is the spin-off book to the Kingdom of the Wicked series by Kerry Maniscalco, which I really enjoyed, and it follows one of the other 7 Princes of Hell. I think it's Envy we follow in this one, so obviously I don't know too much about this book. I haven't really read a lot into it, but yeah, I just love this cover. It just looks absolutely stunning. So I'll be reading Throne of the Fallen for that prompt. Prompt number 5 is to read a 5-star prediction, and for this one I've decided to pick up another NetGalley arc, which is 5 Nights by Rachel Wolfe. This is a psychological thriller, and it's mainly set on a luxury cruise ship. There's a killer on board. I think there's a lot of family secrets. They're quite a wealthy family, so I've I'm really feeling 5-star prediction from this. I've definitely really been in the thriller mood, so fingers crossed. I really enjoy this one. So 5 nights I'll be reading for that prompt. Okay guys, and the last prompt number 6 for Team Woodsboro, is to read a book with mental health rep. Now I had to actually ask for some recommendations because I don't own a lot of books that have mental health rep in them, and this one popped up and I've been wanting to try this out for a while. It is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, which is a contemporary romance. It was mentioned to me that there is PTSD and psychological abuse in this book as well, so I would definitely check out the trigger warnings for that one. But I've heard really great things about Abby Jimenez's books, so I'm really excited to give this a try. I don't read a lot of contemporary romance, but I've really wanted to try Part of Your World, and also Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez as well. I've heard it's really, really good as well. So that is the last book that I'm going to be reading for Team Woodsboro. And the team book for Team Woodsboro is There's Something Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins, which is a YA thriller. I don't know if I will get to it, but I'm going to give it a try. I have heard some good things about it. So yeah, that is all the prompts in team book for Team Woodsboro. Okay guys, and we've finally reached the final camp team, which is Team Sunnydale, which is, if you know, is based on Buffy, and the camp council for Team Sunnydale is the lovely Rebecca. She co-hosted on the Readathon last year, and yeah, I'm just excited for her to be co-hosting again. So without further ado, I'll just get into the prompts for Team Sunnydale. So prompt number 1 is to read a book with a strong female character, and I've decided to pick up the next book in the 6 Tudor Queens series by Alison Weir, which is Anne of Cleves. I've been meaning to get back to the series for a while because I've read the first 3 books, which they all follow the wives of Henry VIII. It's a historical fiction. It is based on real historical events, but Alison Weir takes the kind of fiction approach and fills in the gaps, and I really enjoyed the first 3 books. So I don't know a lot about Anne of Cleves, so I think she's the only queen that I don't know too much about, but I'm assuming that she's a very strong female character, having to be married to Henry VIII. I think should be definitely to be a strong female character to be married to him. But yeah, I'm really excited to continue on with this. I love anything to do with the Tudor history. So yeah, Anne of Cleves I'll be reading for that prompt. Prompt number 2 is to read a book that features witches, and for this I've decided to go for a manga, and the manga is Witch Hat Atelier Volume 3. So Volume 1 we follow the main character Coco, who gets swept away to get trained as a witch. This world, there's a world of witches, and she gets swept away to be taught witchcraft, and it's just a really, really cute, wholesome manga. And I thought, at least putting some like shorter reads in there, I would be able to get through this a lot quicker. I've been meaning to carry on with this manga for a while, so yeah, Witch Hat Atelier I thought would be perfect for that prompt. Prompt number 3 is to read a book with a paranormal romance, and for this one I have decided to pick up a book that I've never read from this author before. It is a standalone. It's a series of standalones, so you can read them in any order, but I've decided to go for Duel with the Vampire Lord by Elise Kova. It's a romance between a human and a vampire, so I think this fits this prompt quite well. So I've got the synopsis up here on my laptop. So it is a darkly reimagined Snow White meets inspiration from Beauty and the Beast in an epic fantasy world of hunters, vampires and curses that run deeper than blood. So yeah, it's like arranged kind of marriage kind of vibe. I think all Elise Kova's books in this series, they all it's a human that has to marry a supernatural like creature. So Duel with the Vampire Lord, A Deal with the Elf King is the first one, A Dance with the Fae Prince, so each of them has like a different supernatural creature. So I think this would work well for this prompt, so I'm going to be reading that book for that prompt. Okay, so prompt number 4 is a book with an unlikely friendship, and for this one I've decided to pick up another NetGalley arc, which I am so excited for. Sophie Anderson is one of my favourite middle grade authors that I've ever read from, and this is her brand new middle grade release, which is coming out at the end of October. So I definitely want to try and get to it before the end of October, and the book in question is The Snow Girl by Sophie Anderson. I love this cover as well, it just looks so cute. It's about a young girl, and she basically makes a girl out of snow. So I think that's where the unlikely friendship kind of lies comes from. So I don't want to read too much about it, because I also don't want to spoil myself, but it's very like winter vibes, like themes of friendship in here as well. So I'm really excited to give this one a try, and I thought it would be quite a good fit for that prompt. Okay guys, and the second and last prompt for Team Sunnydale, prompt number 5, is to read a book with a shifter character, and I actually really struggled to find something that would work for this prompt, and then it just popped into my head, and I know it's got a Netflix movie recently, and the book in question is Nimona by N.D. Stevenson, which is a graphic novel, and we follow the main character Nimona, who can shift into different animals, so I think that would fit quite well for this prompt. There's a knight as well, and they team up, and I think it's just going to be a lot of fun, and it's a graphic novel, so I think it's perfect for a readathon, so it should be quite a quick read, and I definitely do want to actually watch the Netflix adaptations, because I've heard it's really, really good. So Nimona, I'll be reading for that prompt. Okay guys, and we have finally reached the final prompt for Camp Crystal Lake and for Team Sunnydale, which is to read a book that has a library or bookish element. And for this one, I have decided to finally, I am definitely going to read this book, The Haunting of Evelyn Jones by Phil Hicks, which is a middle grade spooky book. We follow the main character, Aveline, and she finds a spooky book which belonged to a girl that has been missing for years and years, and there's ghosts involved, and they're all they're trying to get in touch with Evelyn, and I think it's just going to be a really good time. So I'm finally going to read this book, and that is the last book that I'm planning on reading for Team Sunnydale. And Team Sunnydale's team book is Spells for Forgetting by Adrian Young, which I have read before, and I really enjoyed it. It's very witchy vibes, isolated town mystery, murder mystery as well, and I really enjoyed it. So I definitely would recommend that one if you're on Team Sunnydale, and that is the final prompt for the Camp Crystal Lake readathon. Okay guys, so I have finally reached the end of the video and covered all the books and prompts I'm going to be reading for Camp Crystal Lake. I am so excited for this readathon. It's going to be running from the whole month of October. I'll leave Barb's announcement video in the box down below if you want to take part in it. If you are going to take part in Camp Crystal Lake, let me know what team you're on, what books you're going to be reading, any recommendations for spooky books throughout the month, and I'm just really excited for this readathon to be reading all the spooky books. And I'm not pressuring myself to get to all of those books, but I'm going to give it a really good go, because I've definitely been in a spooky Halloween mood for reading spooky books. So without further ado, I'll wrap up this video. If you liked the video, give me a like and subscribe if you want to. I would really appreciate it, and I'll see you in my next video guys. Bye for now.